This episode of The Casual is brought to you in part by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to all the marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace delivers it in an all-around package so you can build an easy, streamlined, and beautiful online presence. Vans is one of the most recognizable sneaker brands on the planet, and probably the image you see in your head when you think California skateboarding and style. But how did Vans get so effing big, and how did they become one of the fastest growing brands, edging out even Nike? I'm your boy Reggie Casual, and we answer those questions and more when we ask, what the hell is Vans? Started by grade school dropout Paul Van Doren and his brother James in 1966, Vans was formerly known as the Van Doren Rubber Company, and were a bit different than their competition. You see, Vans owned the manufacturer that produced their shoes and sold those shoes directly to the customer. And even though that seems like a fantastic idea, cutting out the middleman and all, it would prove to be a bit more than they could chew. Now, the first shoe that they offered was the number 44, which is now known as the Authentic. And on day one, they sold 12 pairs. But they didn't actually have the sneakers in stock. Yeah, they had samples, but all the boxes in the store were empty. So they told their customers to come back the same day to pick up the order, because they owned the manufacturer and all. But they realized they also had no change in their register. Needless to say, it was a clusterfuck. Things worked out in the end, but first impression, so it was kind of rough in the beginning to say the least. Fast forward 10 years, and Vans is going pretty strong. And in 1976, the company would team up with two skateboard legends in Tony Alva and Stacy Peralta to produce the Era, designated as the world's first sneaker designed for skaters. But why? Why did they make the Era? Well, Vans did start in Southern California, and skate is obviously popular there, but the main reason why they made this shoe is that James Van Doren's son was a fan of skateboarding. So they decided, hey, let's make that. It's a very simple story. Then it started getting real. In 1977, the Old School and Slip-On were released. In 1978, the Skate High. In 1988, the Half Cabin Mountain Edition, and things were rolling. But let's stop there and rewind a bit, because 88 was a defining year for Vans in more ways than one, and answers the question of how they got so big. After gaining momentum in California, the brand was looking to expand to the rest of the United States. They got their big break in 1982 when an actor by the name of Sean Penn played this guy. I mean, look at the guy. He's basically the embodiment of California dude. Jeff Spicoli was his name, and Fast Times at Ridgemount High made his character iconic. In fact, Sean Penn got so into the character while filming that he only answered to Spicoli while on set. But tangents aside, one of the mainstays with Jeff in the movie were the checkerboard Vans slip-ons that were never too far from his side. In fact, the shoes became a character in and of themselves as they went on to become one of the most iconic pair of Vans ever released. The success of the movie brought about a sea change in style for youth culture at the time, and Vans was a major benefactor. And so is Sean Penn, but that's a totally different story. He's just a really good actor. However, Vans did hit a snag, as the growth would simply be too much for the company to handle internally. Due to a large inventory line and being the sole manufacturer of their shoes, add to the fact that Vans was still producing said products in the United States while competitors had chosen overseas manufacturing, and you could totally see why the brand was basically throwing money out of an open window. This eventually would catch up with them, and Vans had to declare bankruptcy in 1986. After restructuring, Vans settled their $12 million debt, but instead of keeping the company, the Van Dorens decided to sell the brand in 1988 to some private equity firm no one knows about, but nonetheless, they got $74 million for the deal. And a bit later, Vans would become the sponsor of the Warped Tour, and in 2003 opened the premium Vans Vault line, so things were not all that bad. In fact, Vans was growing more than ever. However, in 2004, Vans was bought by VF Corporation, the same company that owns the North Face and Timberland, among others, for a whopping $396 million. And it was during the VF years that Vans became a billion-dollar behemoth. They expanded the profile of the company domestically and abroad even more, switched to overseas manufacturing solely, focused in on offering damn near every color available for their classics, and trimmed down the product line. The premium Vans Vault line also became more ambitious, taking those same classics and collaborating with notable brands and designers from around the world like designer Takahashi and The North Face, a brand which VF Corporation owns, by the way. So there's nothing like in-house money. By 2015, Vans had grown into a $2 billion company. By 2018, $3 billion. And by 2023, they projected to be worth $5 billion by its lowest estimates. In fact, in 2018, Vans became the fastest growing sneaker brand in the United States among upper income female teens, but that's beside the point. Just look at your closet right now. Chances that you have at least one pair of Vans in there is pretty freaking high. And if you don't, then who are you? Like, really? I mean, they're cheap, come in a lot of varieties, and can fit nearly any style. So yes, Vans is killing it in almost no-brainer sneakers in any case. Vans has also collaborated with hundreds of brands, properties, and individuals, from Marvel to David Bowie to NASA. Why? Nobody knows why, but they have, and even international brands get love, like Mastermind Japan and Fundamental. And Vans was one of the first to collaborate with Supreme. Now Vans sells everything from skate shoes to snowboard equipment, has its own apparel line, and Vans sneaker silhouettes are so popular that they are copied by nearly every major brand that has a shoe lineup, particularly the slip-on, which is just hard not to rip because it's practically perfect. So how did Vans get so big? Well, it relied on authenticity, a small lineup, and a perfect price point with variety. Couple that with a turn away from self-manufacturing, and voila! Who says you can't make $1 billion doing the same thing over and over and over again? And for a brand that has roots in Southern California, went bankrupt, and now stands at the top of skate, sneakers, and street fashion, that's pretty amazing and definitely makes you ask, what the hell? And before you go, don't forget to check out our partner, Squarespace. For all you future fashion entrepreneurs out there, Squarespace websites give you amazing, rich, detailed galleries and portfolios, simultaneous posting from your social profiles for massively easy integration across all your networks, and expansive e-commerce options like linking your products to and from your Instagram account, which is crazy, but we live in the future, so you should expect it. And if that doesn't get you, then maybe 10% off by using our code squarespace.com/thecasualwill. So head over, start that site you've been meaning to start today.